Ladies and gentlemen, today Doug Fehan was forced out of Corvette Racing. So what will the future be for the C8.R and Corvette Racing? Hello everyone and welcome back to Brink of Speed, and Merry Christmas by the way, and a Happy New Year. Now before we jump into the video, please smash that thumbs up button as this breaks the YouTube algorithm to help promote this video and supports my channel. Also, if you have not joined this wonderful Brink of Speed community, make sure and smash that red subscribe and the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Alright, let's get into it. So today I'd like to start by honoring Doug Fehan for all that he accomplished with Corvette Racing and Corvette in general. Before I talk about his racing legacy, I want to remind everyone, if it weren't for Doug, GM would not have advanced Corvette's overall performance to the degree it is today. He used cascade engineering, which means each generation of street car is made better from racing, and each generation of race car is improved because of having a better street car as a starting point. This helped better the Corvette street car from lessons learned with the Corvette race car. This is something that Porsche has been using for decades and is why Porsche is a top sports car manufacturer. From day one, when the Corvette entered racing, it held its own, and from the C5 through C7, GM made big performance and aesthetic improvements. However, it wasn't until they finally realized the goal and dream of a mid-engine Corvette with the C8 that Corvette stepped into a new category. It is no longer known as just an American sports car. No. Now it is known as an American supercar because GM used Doug's philosophy of cascade engineering. They were able to turn a performance beast into a performance icon. Let me know what you guys think about what we've talked about so far in the comments down below. Now on to Doug's racing accomplishments. Here is why it's a shame that he was allegedly let go from Corvette Racing. In 22 years, Doug led Corvette Racing to 14 team championships, 13 drivers and manufacturer championships, and 113 race wins for the team, including 8 class wins at the 24-hour Le Mans, 12 class wins at the 12 Hours of Sebring, 3 class wins at the Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona, which includes the famous overall win in 2001, and 8 class wins at the Petit Le Mans. Ladies and gentlemen, that is absolutely incredible numbers. Those are what you call lifetime achievements. What Doug was able to accomplish in Corvette Racing is phenomenal. Let us now take a ride back through history and look at the early years of Doug Fehan. Growing up as a kid in Michigan, Doug was surrounded by the automotive world. His grandfather, father, and uncles were all in the car business, so he and his brother were always around race cars. By the mid to late 60s, Doug and his brother started racing a 1967 Chevelle. Through the years, he and his brother continued to race and even started their own race team. This team had good success, with winning races and setting track lap records. Next, Ford Racing asked him to come race for them in their SVO Mustang series. Doug eventually connected with Mack Tools, which blossomed into a wonderful relationship for all three: Ford, Mack Tools, and Doug. Mack Tools had never been in the racing world, but they jumped in and it paid off big time. Eventually, the director of GM Racing called Doug and asked him to help with their team. He spent the next year traveling around analyzing IMSA races and how successful teams won consistently. He also analyzed what GM's team was doing and their faults. He continued working with GM's racing teams and then was called to do something that would change GM's race team forever. The C5 Corvette was being developed, and he was asked to figure out how GM could take a race version of the C5 to Le Mans. He recommended that they do 2 years of development in secret. This is where Doug started working with Jim Miller and Gary Pratt. Jim was a businessman and successful race driver. Gary was outstanding at design and fabrication. The two had already formed Pratt and Miller, which most of you know is where the race cars for Corvette Racing come from. So as they say, the rest is history. Now, why did I go through all of that? I went through all of that because I wanted to give everyone that didn't know much about Doug Fehan vital information of his history and what he worked so hard to achieve. I like to think of him as a modern day Zora, but in my opinion, he has had more success than Zora when it comes to Corvette racing. So the question is, was Doug let go or did he retire? I'm not going to speculate, but there are people out there who know a thing or two that are saying he was let go. In fact, Corvette Blogger wrote an article right after the news broke, and here is that article so you can all see it. I'll put a link in my description below, but here is something that he said. I can also firmly say that as someone who has met and talked with all kinds of people in and out of GM, that there wasn't a better brand ambassador for Corvette and other GM vehicles than Doug Fehan, and anyone who has witnessed one of Doug's Corvette Corral discussions can attest to that. These are some huge shoes to fill, and I hope and pray that GM Racing hasn't messed up a winning formula just for the sake of change. As you can see, he wasn't happy with the news. And actually, the way he left no longer matters. What matters now is he's gone, so who will replace him? And what can we expect from this new leader? The real shame of this is C8.R had a fantastic season this year, and now their fearless leader is gone. How will this affect the team? Not to mention, team captain Oliver Gavin was replaced by Porsche driver Nick Tandy. Here is a statement about joining the team from Nick Tandy. Since I've been racing in IMSA and at Le Mans, Corvette Racing has been the team that everyone looks up to, Tandy said in his release. Many operations aspire to get to the level that Corvette Racing operates at. It's something I've always looked at, and it's impressed me. The fact that the opportunity arose where I could join the team and stay racing with IMSA is a dream opportunity. You look at the history of Corvette Racing, and it's been a team that has consistently been in top-level motorsport. And not just competing, but winning races and championships wherever they go. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, there are huge changes coming to Corvette Racing. However, these may not be bad changes. For an instant, we all rush to the thought that change is always bad. But who knows? This could be exactly what the team needed to keep the train rolling forward. After all, both Doug and Gavin have been with the team for over 19 years. Doug for 22 years. I can also argue the other side though. I remember back in 1999 when Ray Everham left Jeff Gordon's team after they had just experienced a record-breaking 1998 season with 13 wins and winning the championship. Then in 1999, he had 7 wins and came in 6th in the points. It completely threw fans like me a curveball, and in my opinion destroyed a rare racing dynasty. So we will just have to wait and see how these changes will affect the team. For now though, let's give Doug a huge round of applause and thank him for his hard work and dedication for 22 plus years to Team Corvette and Team Chevy, and the Chevy brand in general. He had a lot to do with us being able to enjoy the huge performance of our street Corvettes today. Thank you, Doug. All of us Corvette guys and gals thank you greatly. All right, let me know what your thoughts are about all of this down below in the comments. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of people out there like Corvette Blogger who are very sad, very unhappy with Doug Fehan leaving, and probably the same for Oliver Gavin leaving. But again, these are changes that GM specifically knew needed to be made, or they would not have made them. Now, you can argue the other point, like I said, that it could destroy a racing dynasty that Doug Fehan has created over the last 22 years. But who knows, maybe that won't be wrecked. Maybe the new person coming in will take over where Doug left off and continue the racing dynasty with the C8.R, and will win multiple races next year and the years to come. So that's going to do it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. I tried to put as much information in there as I could to give you guys as much info about Doug and his past and what he's been able to accomplish. So again, I hope you enjoyed it. If so, give me a big thumbs up. And if you have not joined this wonderful Brink of Speed community, these are the types of videos you're going to get from this community. So please hit that red subscribe and the bell for notifications when my new videos are uploaded. I hope each and every one of you has a wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year, and I will see you out on the road.